We good?
We're all good.
We're good. So, welcome to the Hona podcast with Mike
And Charl. I love how you always let me do my own name.
Yeah. So, what is today's episode?
Today, I thought we could do one about pricing.
Oh, that's probably one of those questions I get asked so much, and it's a difficult one. So I think we'll try and cover it as best we can, but there's probably a bit of homework for every nail tech to do to really nail their pricing. So, yeah.
Let's do it. What we're going to discuss in today's episode then. So I thought we could go over how to structure a price list. I don't know why I'm doing two thumbs up. How to structure a price list. So whether that is you as a beginner nail tech starting out in the industry, or if you are one of these people that have been in the industry a long time, but you have never raised your prices. So how we can do that. How to work out what a treatment costs, and how to enforce deposits, cancellations and no-show fees, which I feel we touched on previously, but again, just to reiterate, because it is so important. So I thought those could be today's topics.
Awesome.
Before we do that, let's do our shout out of the week.
Go on, you go for it this week.
Well, I put it to the girls in the office again because I like having a few different opinions, and they all said this week they wanted to shout out Jay, who on Instagram or TikTok is jmarie_beauty.
She's new to Hona. Well, new-ish.
Yes. So she's recently invested in us, and her content is hilarious.
Oh, she's a funny content creator.
She is. She's brilliant. She always does very real, very raw videos, and they are quite amusing. Oh. But the girls have mentioned as well that she is pregnant, and she's actually
Congratulations.
due the week of our after Christmas party, and she's a massive RuPaul Drag Race fan, so she's absolutely devastated that she's not going to be there. But Morgan has already promised her that if she is in labour and Taste is performing, she'll FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
So
There's a promise.
Just to get her through. So that is this week's shout out of the week.
So let's get into today's episode then.
Let's get into it.
So pricing's one of them that, like we said at the beginning, it's a real difficult one to be able to answer everybody's pricing question. So what we can do, we can talk over how we would do if we were running a salon, how we would price it. So I'll let you talk mainly about this, as you're the one who's done this. What? Every time you raise your price, every time you offer the new service. So you go for it.
Well, I think an industry as a whole, we haven't changed our prices for a long time. I remember getting my nails done when I was 15 years old. So I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was, but it was a while ago. And I remember it not actually being that much different in price to what it still can be charged at now. Like, I remember going into a salon and paying £25, and I know that there are nail techs out there that will still charge £25 for a set of nails, whether it just be gel, whether it be acrylic, whatever. And I always wonder why as an industry have we not raised our prices? Why do you think?
Oh, do you know what? Threw me off guard there. Why do I think? I think probably there's a stigma attached to the nail industry that it's not a skilled service, that it's not a high-end service. It's almost, there's the stigma that a nail tech is a schoolgirl drop out, a school guy drop out, and that they're unskilled. And so as it's an unskilled treatment, that they don't have to pay a premium for it. And that couldn't be further from the truth. The ingredients they've used are so really advanced. The education they've had to do, extremely advanced. Even down to their consultations, knowing all the personal details of the client, what treatment they're going through, what part of their journey they're on, what colours they like. All of these things add up to make them a really skilled service. And there's a stigma that it's just not a skilled service. And that's probably why the price isn't there, and
Yeah.
it's probably responsibility of brands like Hona to change that narrative, to educate not just nail techs that they are highly skilled and they should be charging with, but almost educating the wider industry, because we have a lot of non-nail techs following us just
Yeah.
for inspo pictures, for example.
Yeah.
And it's our responsibility to almost educate them that nails is a high-end service. It's a really luxurious service. It's a highly skilled service, and they should be paying a premium akin to their hair, their makeup. It should be on par with that.
Yeah,
probably,
exactly.
Probably more.
If not
I
more.
would say it's more technical
100%.
to apply a set of nails than it is makeup. I might get attacked there, but I'm going to go out on a limb.
It's a different skill set, though.
Yeah, it's a different skill set. That's a better way of saying it.
But one of my favourite things is, I've seen it go around quite often, actually, is you will pay £50 or £60 or £70 to have your makeup done. How long does your makeup last? One day, one evening, one night.
Does it last when you wake up? You sleep in your
Well, I try. If I have my makeup done, I get my money's worth. I'll go to bed, literally not touch the sheets, and just wake up.
But yeah, so
but how long your nails last?
I wonder why there's a higher value put on a full face of makeup than there is a set of nails that last you 3 + 4 weeks.
Exactly, it's a
and it
difficult
must,
one,
and
isn't it?
this, and that's. It's our responsibility as a brand that, like, we have to educate the wider industry and the consumer that this is a skilled service. It's a highly, highly technical service, and that education, that training, those products the nail tech are using warrant the £50 plus a service.
I think you've touched on a really important point there, is ingredients and methods.
Yeah.
Because from when I learned to do nails to where I am in, like, my job role at the moment, or how far into my, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, education as a nail tech I am. Career. So much has changed in regards to the ingredients that we now use, especially because we are going down that whole sort of like hemo-free or hypoallergenic route. That is a far more skilled thing
You have to be a better
know.
nail tech. Oh, I might get shot, You have to, in my opinion, you have to be a more skilled nail tech to apply brands like Hona, because it takes more time, it takes more practice, it takes more precision to get a brand like ours to work.
Definitely. I feel like before, when I was, again, I'm not dissing colleges or anything like that, but I feel like when you are taught in college, it's a very basic way of doing it. It's not brand specific. It's just you get through a treatment and this is your outcome. Whereas I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent, and I feel this could be a potential next episode, but why we recommend it's so important to do a conversion course for the brand that you're going to be working with, because there is so much behind each brand and the steps. So
that's why we feel the pricing hasn't changed. There's probably a little bit of a stigma, and there's a lots changed over the years, and nail techs have been reluctant to up their prices, maybe because of that stigma, maybe they're worried about losing clients, but we'll go over why we think you should and how you can.
But first, if we're going to start it out, let's start out how to structure a price list.
Okay, back to basics. How to structure a price list. Go for it.
So, one of the things that I would say to get in place first, before anything, is think about what products you're using. So, say, for example, you are doing a pure foundation treatment. You need your pure foundation, you need your base coat, you need your top coat. Think about what rent you're paying, your electricity, everything like that. Just everything that you could possibly use within that treatment. And that will give you your baseline, like your expenses. And that is the very, very minimum that you will charge without earning a penny. Nothing. Zero.
So they need to work out every possible expense per treatment. From the products they use to the utilities. If they even offer a cup of coffee per client. So
Absolutely.
work out what that client costs per treatment or per hour. What would you do it?
I would say per treatment.
Per treatment.
Yeah, per treatment.
So
because
say they spend £5 on product, there's £2 on utilities, £1 or £2 on like external factors like, I don't know, coffees or in between.
Even down to if they use the toilet.
Shut up.
The water bill.
Not that extreme, surely.
I would always take a small percentage, because at the end of the day, if they are washing their hands or using the toilet, anything like that, you're using electricity throughout that. If you're renting a space, again, just break it all down, and that will give you your baseline, your bare minimum.
For example, for easy numbers, say they've worked it all out and their expenses are £10 per treatment. For that build the gel treatment, it costs them £10 just to perform that treatment, to get the bum on the seat, perform the treatment, keep them warm, have a drink in their hand. It's £10. So if that's how much it costs, then what?
So then you need to work out, right, okay, how many sets, for example, can I get out of this one bottle that I've purchased? So we love to do the math for you guys at Hona, and we kind of break it all down into treatment costs as well. So you can get, say, 100 uses out of a base or a top coat. You can get 65 uses approximately out of your pure foundation or pure build. So then it's, again, splitting that down. It seems like a lot of work, but I promise you, once you do it once, it's so easy to then just replicate. And basically
all this information is available on our social media channels. We've done a cost breakdown. You can DM us and to say, look, can I see the treatment cost breakdown? And we've worked out how much a builder gel, like a pure foundation set, would cost you. And we factor in the pure bond, the pure foundation, gel polish colour, top coat, and we break it down to just the ingredients
just
used.
The products.
And it's based on a small almond shape. Obviously, if you're doing huge stilettos, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
But this is based on a small almond shape.
But then also how long that treatment takes you as well. So this is why I think you should do it based on per treatment and not per hour.
Okay.
Because one person may take you a long time, one person may take you a short amount of time, and then your products will vary as well. So I always do it per treatment, because then if you are adding in extras as well, which again, we're terrible for not charging for. So any nail art is extra. If you're buying all those extra little nail art products, again, making sure that you're including that as well. And then what you want to pay yourself.
So you've got your expenses, what the actual service is, and then what you want to pay yourself.
What do you want to walk away with at the end of the day?
Do you have a target in mind? So say you want to earn, I don't know, £500 a week, like take home. So you need to factor in, like, so if I'm working 8-hour days, that's 40 hours on a 5-day week.
Oh, we're getting into the maths now.
Yeah, so you need to work out how much would I need to pay myself an hourly wage to get that.
Absolutely. And then it kind of gives you your price point there and then. And it's then up to you to be like, okay, I think that's reasonable. I think I'm worth that. Taking your skill set, for example, are you a beginner? Are you somebody that's been, in the industry a long time? Do you have a lot of experience? Because I think that is another thing as well that a lot of people don't charge for, is their experience. If you have been in this industry for 15 years and you've built up so much of a portfolio and so much wealth of knowledge, people should be paying more for that, in my personal opinion. But you might be a skilled nail tech for like 6 months. You never know. Yeah,
exactly. Time doesn't necessarily mean you're more experienced. Like you, some people come out of their education flying, and what others it takes them a lot longer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say time is necessarily a dictator of experience, but it's obviously a good indicator.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. Yeah. So pricing. You need to figure out your expenses. You need to figure out you need to charge your service. So if you're adding a jewel on, if you're doing chrome, if you're doing foil, if you're doing advanced nail art, you need to be charging all these extras. So you need to know how much time that's taking you, how much products that's costing you to add that nail art extra. So once you've got your expenses down, you need to work out how much you want to pay yourself an hour or a service. That's how much I want to pay yourself. And once you have that number, it's about sticking to it.
Definitely. I think another really good point as well is when we get into minimum wage. So minimum wage goes up every single year.
Yeah.
And so why don't we, as self-employed people, go up every single year as well?
I'd be interested in the comments, like how many nail techs do a yearly price increase every year, or do you do it every 2 years, every 3 years, and do bigger jumps? I'll probably err towards, I don't probably see nail techs doing it every year, whereas in a normal, I was say normal, in a different job, if you were working for Hona, for example, and minimum wage go up, national living wage go up, your salary would automatically go up. It's the same in every other company.
Yeah, like a corporate company, I suppose.
So you should be, when that minimum wage goes up, you should be thinking, okay, so everything else is getting expensive. Minimum wage has gone up for a reason, because of inflation, because of living costs and stuff. So that's why it's gone up. You need to think about, I should be raising my prices. That could be a good tactic, actually. You could use the minimum wage increase as a way to increase your prices, because it's very easy for a customer, a client to understand then, because a lot of nail techs are scared to raise their prices.
100%.
So you can use the minimum wage increase on the yearly basis as the reason. You can say you pay yourself a minimum wage, or you can say yourself you base it off that, and that as minimum wage gone up, my treatment has to go up as well, because I want to pay myself a minimum wage. I would find it very difficult for a client to say, no, I don't want you to raise your prices to hit minimum wage. If they do say that, they're not probably the client you want. So that's I think you touched on something there, which you can use the minimum wage as a reason to give yourself a price increase. I definitely think you should be paying yourself more than minimum wage, 100%.
Yeah. I'm just using that as an example. But you can use that as an example. Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, like, you don't even have to explain yourself to clients. Like,
oh my God,
how often do you walk into Tesco?
I know. I defaulted then to saying, like, if you're scared to explain it to your client and stuff like that.
But like you do, you walk into Tesco, you don't argue with them that the price has gone up by 10p for a pint of milk. Do you know what I mean? I mean, some people do, but half the time people don't even notice, and they probably won't, in all honesty. If you raise your price quite periodically, like say you did it every, 6 months or annually, and you just did it by £1, £2, they probably wouldn't even notice. So don't feel like you have to explain yourself, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I do understand that. I do think as if a customer was coming in and then all of a sudden it was £30 last session and now it's £32, they might go, oh, and then you can just say, I raised my prices, minimum wage went up, cost of living's gone up.
And what they're going to say?
The products got more expensive. Do you know what I mean? So there's always a reason why if they then ask.
Yeah.
You can do it after the fact.
I mean, fair enough. If you're going to whack it up by £8 to £10, like that, notice. Fair enough. Give them a little bit of notice. But in my opinion, £1-2. I highly doubt they're even going to notice. But another thing that I just wanted to touch on as well is, even though we've got all of this together, a lot of times I see people basing their prices off what everyone else is doing. And
so we're going to touch on pricing for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, then, yeah, because there's probably quite a common thing in the nail industry is that you look at what Sally down the road's charging and you're going, I'll just charge the same.
Yeah.
But you don't know if Sally down the road is worked out the pricing specific for her. Yeah. She may get different products. She might buy her products from Amazon. Do you know what I mean? They might be very, very cheap, so she's able to do that, and then they're poorer quality. Or she might be only doing 3-4 clients as a little side hustle, for example, or something like that, and she doesn't have many expenses compared to your salon. There's a load of different things. You might have free rent. You might have to pay rent. You can't just assume that if they charge £40 for their builder gel service, you should charge £40. Or on the opposite end, if they charge £20, you shouldn't charge £20. You need to be specific for you.
I get the whole trying to be, competitive with prices, but I think you made a good point before about, you're not going to go to the cheapest hairdresser your town.
Yeah, I've said this on response to a TikTok once, and somebody said, like, if I raise my price, I'm going to lose customers. And I think that's such a glass half empty attitude.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you go to the cheapest hairdresser in your town? And they were like, no. And they were like, why? So I was like, well, I wouldn't trust them. I want quality. And so it's like, if you think that as a nail tech, why wouldn't your customer think that about you? If you're the cheapest one in town, they may think, oh, you're the least skilled or you're the least qualified.
Or she's not using good products or something like that.
Exactly, yeah. So don't... Look, you attract your tribe, don't you? If you... What's...
Sasha's quote.
Sasha's
I know
quote.
you want the Ferrari clients, not the Fiat.
Yeah, she spoke at our Moonlight Fiesta event, and she spoke about, I think it was about pricing and empowering and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And she mentioned about raising your prices. She was like, don't be afraid to raise your price.
Yeah.
If you're worried about losing a customer, you're going to be attracting a better type of customer that's suited to you more.
Definitely.
So that one person who's not happy to pay £40-50 for your builder gel service, there's an opportunity for somebody else who will be happy to pay that because they do value your worth. And her phrase was, aim for a Ferrari client, not a Fiat client.
Yeah, I love that. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Morgan, bless her, actually put her hand up and was like, I drive a Fiat.
Yeah. But it's a phrase, yeah.
It's a phrase, yeah. No, like, I get what she was going for there. And I think that is so true. Like, don't be afraid to do that. If you genuinely think that your services are worth it, you know that you've put in all that skill in education, in your products, in your training, everything, your salon space
even
in
down
general.
to your marketing.
Yeah.
You probably are not factoring in your marketing, the times you're on your DMs, posting your content, creating your content, answering customer questions. Mm-hmm. Like, all these need to be factored in.
Yeah.
Like, all that adds up. So if you say you work a 40-hour week, you're probably doing way over that if you factor in all the admin tasks you don't even consider. And you need to bring them in. You need to factor in, I spend an hour a day extra at home at 8 o'clock going through my DMs. Factor that into your hourly wage, how much you want to be earning over on a day, on a week, on a monthly basis, and factor that into your prices.
Yeah, I think we touched on that quite a bit in our booking systems episode. So if you haven't listened to that, go back and check it out. But I do think that leads us nicely into the whole cancellation fees and deposits and no-show fees as well, like when considering your pricing. So I know a lot of people will have their booking systems, which take, a set deposit, whether you set that as like a £10 or 50%. But then also factor in, if you have a no-show, how does that impact you as a business as well?
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to go to, say you worked in a corporate job. Say I just turned up to work for you one day and you went, oh, Charlotte, do you know what? I haven't actually got 2 hours of work for you right now, but you have to stay here, but you're not getting paid for it.
Yeah. Just wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen. And so why would you not want to make sure that you're covering yourself, covering your hours lost or your 2 hours lost by making sure that you have that deposit or that no-show fee put in place? So that is another thing really, really important to consider when working out your pricing.
Would you say a deposit should be mandatory in your opinion?
100%.
And how, like, you had a high deposit?
I had a 50% service fee.
So if you had a builder gel service with Charlotte, say it was £50, you charge a £25 deposit.
Yeah.
See, some people would get scared of that.
Yeah.
But why would I? If someone's not prepared to pay that deposit,
usually it means they're not turning up.
They're already thinking, do you know what? I'm not 100% sure I can make this appointment. That's a red flag straight away.
Yeah, but that was one of the great things that, I did find about having the booking system, is it took that awkwardness away from it. So,
definitely go check out our booking system one.
Yeah. So
you got your deposits, no-shows and cancellations, all mandatory. How do you charge somebody for a no-show then? Is it the deposit that you just don't refund the deposit? What if there's always an excuse, isn't there?
So again, it's down to making sure that you have policies in place. And again, having a booking system in place, kind of like they have that tick box of like, okay, I've read the T's and C's, which how many people always do? But at least you have them there. And so you have something to fall back on. If they turn around and say, oh, well, I didn't know that I would lose my deposit, or can you not just move it to my next appointment? Well, that's not a
deposit then, is it? If you're gonna be a bit of a pushover and just be like, oh, okay, and I'll move this deposit to your next appointment. you've just lost that deposit.
Yeah.
Like you haven't gained the next deposit. You've just lost that deposit. So I think as part of the pricing conversation here, enforcing a deposit should be mandatory for you. If you're really scared or you don't want to, you don't have to, but like it will cover you. Cancellations and no-shows, like you need to be strict with them, even if it is a best friend, even if it's a family member, even if it is a regular. Like you should be enforced.
They don't respect your time then, I feel.
It's not always like things come up. Like there's always this conversation is always within reason. If there's an emergency and it's within reason, you can obviously there's a grey area. But in general, if somebody just I've overslept, I forgot, or do you know what? I got a last minute hair appointment which I had to get because do you know what I mean? Like again, it all ties back to what we first said at the beginning, where it's seen as an unskilled and like nail techs are almost the first ones to forget. Don't worry about it. I just won't bother with that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And that whole stigma is one of our missions to try and eradicate, to try and change, to try and empower the nail tech to understand their worth.
Yeah.
Especially the modern day nail tech.
Love that. Understand your worth.
Yeah.
And charge your worth, in my opinion, definitely. So, brief recap then. So, making sure that you get your price list completely set out first of all, so taking everything into consideration down to your expenses, what your treatment costs you, what your products cost you, that gives you your baseline. Then go up from there. What do you want to pay yourself per hour? Charge that on top. Is there anything extra that you use within a treatment that you need to make sure that you're charging for as well? Then you need to think about how long that treatment takes you, I was going to say about skill set again, but like you sort of pointed out, we've got people that have been in the industry for a while, people that are quite quick, but again, that's down to your personal preference. And then I think the ultimate deciding factor as well is your pricing is your decision, ultimately. It shouldn't be based off Sally down the road. It should be your decision, your fundamentals, and charge your worth.
Charge your worth. Yeah. Awesome.
So I think that leads us nicely on to our question of the week.
I don't know this question of the week, which always makes me nervous. We had one talking about some crazy topic before. Go check. You'll know what I'm on about. But go for it. Yeah.
So this question of the week, which I quite like this one because I feel like there's a lot of people out there like this. What is your unpopular opinion as a nail tech? And I feel like there's a few out there. So first one, we're starting out a little bit lighthearted. I hate glazed donut nails. They are so overrated. And I can get on board with that.
Oh, and I completely disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you like them.
Well, the reason I like the glazed donut trend is first and foremost, it's an affordable treatment. So it's essentially a builder gel with Hona's clear chrome on top or some type of clear chrome on top.
Yeah.
So it's an affordable treatment. It's very timeless, I think. I think it's very...
What do you say?
I think it's very... It's suitable for spring. It's suitable for winter. It's suitable for wedding season. It probably is really quite classy for party season at Christmas. So I can get on board with it.
I see your point.
And there's quite a lot of variations of it.
But that's I dislike, see.
So you can go...
I dislike it.
So you can go for the vanilla glaze, you can go for the chocolate glaze, cherry glaze. So it has flexibility as well to suit lots of different clients. So if
with this nail tech here. I'm very against it now. I feel like it's overdone, overrated. Move on.
No, I'm looking from it's an affordable treatment. I would say it's a quicker treatment than detailed nail art.
Because it's a full cover chrome at the end of the day.
It's a quicker treatment.
Yeah.
It has flexibility to suit different clients. It's a win from me. Glazed donut is a win. Keep it on your service. If you don't know how to do it, learn to do it. So you and that nail tech, in my opinion, are incorrect.
Okay, another unpopular opinion. Ooh. People are too anal about cleaning. I get the need for a clean workspace and sanitised tools, but do we really need a 10-step cleaning routine?
Well, it depends how, the more clean you are, the better and more hygienic and safe your service is going to be. So I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
I can see where she's coming from.
Like too clean?
No, not too clean, but like, maybe I'll get in trouble for this now.
Don't say it.
We're not surgeons. So having like, I get what she's on about. Like, do we really need like a 10-step cleaning routine for every single thing? Maybe not. Maybe that is a bit of an overkill. But I do think, yes, keeping your area and everything that you're using sterile for each client, yes, I understand.
No, you're both wrong again. 10-step cleaning routine is the right way. As clean as you can make your...
Mike's like, throw it all out, brand new every time.
As clean as you can make your service each and every time, the better. So if that means you've got time to do a 10-step, do the 10-step.
Oh, if you've got time, fair enough. But if you're back to back
I would factor that time into the service.
Just pure clean everything. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
This was quite short. An unpopular opinion. Long nails are gross.
It's a bit generic, isn't it? Long nails are gross.
Long nails are gross.
Well,
I think she means like extreme.
You're talking about like XXL length.
Maybe.
Well, personally, I'm not someone who would ever have them, obviously, and
what are you on about?
I understand the impracticality of it.
Yeah.
However, if I was looking at them, I can appreciate the artistry and the creativity, and fair play to any girl or guy out there rocking anything over an inch long nails.
Absolutely.
Even down to practical things like opening a can of Coke or pushing the tumble dryer to turn it on or picking a coin off the table. Like it makes it feel so impractical for me. So
I hate the whole having to flush like that with a long nail.
Nails.
Yeah, like use your knuckle. I go through phases with nails. Like sometimes I like them long, sometimes I like them like really short. So I
think the answer for that nail tech who says she don't like long nails, I think she doesn't like the impracticality of it.
Maybe.
Is get a set of press-ons for when you want to have that glam bougie night. Pop them on, yeah.
And the last one I had was there is no need to soak nails off.
What?
So
ever?
Yeah, ever. So this person's opinion is
so from my point of view. So my point of view is that every 3 to 4 infill, you would soak off to check the nail health. So the unpopular opinion is you don't.
She doesn't ever soak them off.
So how do you feel about that?
So I feel like it's very much down to the nail tech. And again, using your experience and your knowledge. If you are debulking everything down the amount that you should, and you can see if there's no lifting on the nail plate, it depends as well on whether you're using a builder or a hard gel, I think, because...
Let's just talk about builder gel then.
Builder gel, depending on how opaque it is. If you are using quite an opaque builder gel, so something with quite a lot of colour, if you're not able to see the natural nail, then yes, I would say definitely every sort of 3 to 4 times, then I would do a soak off.
So let's use 4 infills. So 3-week appointments, 3 times 4, that's 12 weeks. That's a long time not to see the nail.
But if you are debulking and removing any lifting and you can see the natural nail health underneath and it's still absolutely fine, go for it. And I think in my opinion with hard gel as well, because we're using quite sheer products, it for us now
for
in
Hona's
Hona.
True Sculpt, yeah.
That was one of the reasons that I wanted more sort of like semi-sheer hard gel, so that again, when you debulk it down enough, you can still see the health of the natural nail plate. So there shouldn't be a reason to do a full entire removal. You just then need to make sure that there is no lifting present, and then you can apply the product straight back on.
So this would be a good one to get what our community think. Do you remove it every 3 to 4 infills, or are you one of these who feel like they're able to judge the nail health continuously on every infill? Because there's probably 2 camps there.
Yeah.
And do you know what? Don't attack each other. There's probably no right or wrong way. It's just what you think for your particular client.
Yeah.
You may have a client who's more prone to greenies, for example.
Yeah,
who
definitely.
you're like, I need to remove yours every few weeks just to be sure, because it might be the industry they work in. They might be, I don't know, a lifeguard, for example, in and out.
Lifeguard.
I don't know, in and out the water.
I just said hairdresser more.
Probably,
whatever. But yeah.
But
yeah, judge it on your client. Judge it on what product they have on their nails and whether you can still see that natural nail health.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you're true. You will get two separate camps in this.
But okay, cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed those. I like an unpopular opinion.
So, behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I've taken a lot of today's podcast into my little round. Do you have a little behind the scenes that you want to share?
So, behind the scenes with Hona. So, we have officially sent out all the advent calendar.
Yes!
So, for anyone who had a Hona advent calendar, they sold out in pre-sale. Hundreds of them sold out in pre-sale. And we hand wrapped each individual one. There was 12 items in each advent calendar, and we hand wrapped them in tissue, applied a sticker, put a card in which talked about a special offer or a special tutorial. And we had to hand wrap hundreds and hundreds of advent calendars, which each had 12 in. So I think there was about, I don't know, 20-odd thousand, 30-odd thousand.
I'm going to give my mum a big shout out here because
items.
she did a lot of
So
really
it was
good wrapping.
so much work to do, which we've learned from, which we won't do again.
Yeah. Do you know what though?
But that is behind the scenes. They all got packed and shipped. So by the time you've all got this podcast,
half of them have already opened.
They've already
anyway.
all been opened. It's gone probably. It's even gone Christmas, I think. But yeah, that was a great moment because that was a real teamwork effort.
Yeah, huge.
It was a huge undertaking, and we got them out a week in advance.
Yeah.
So everybody was expecting to get them end of November around Black Friday weekend, and we got them out.
We sent them out
in advance.
So good.
Go Team Hona, go all the warehouse staff, go Jane Wilson, go everyone.
It was a real team effort. It was fab. Really, really good.
Awesome.
So, what do you want to talk about next week?
What do I want to talk about next week? Put me on the spot. How about we talk about trends? Oh, I've just mentioned
Yes.
advent calendars. Why don't we talk about trends?
Yes. How about because I think that this is a really big topic in the industry at the moment is, does this company just jump on a trend because it's
I got it.
hot at
Yeah,
the
okay
moment?
then. So it'd be brand specific trends. So instead of us talking about a nail art tutorial trend or something like that, like how we get on a trend, because a lot of people may think that we can just release a product and hit that trend, whereas it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. We have to do a lot of planning, and sometimes we hit, sometimes we miss with the trend. So that's a good one. That'll be a good one to know about how we work as a company, how we develop and how we grow our product range.
Yeah, definitely. That's an exciting one. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll do that one. That's a fun one.
It's been great as always.
Thanks everybody for listening, or if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to share us. Make sure you pass the podcast around. We're trying to grow it. So yeah, peace and love.
Peace and love.